Hello, guys, and welcome back to another video. I know I've been off for a week. I was just working on something really interesting, and I can't wait to share that with all of you. But now I'm back, and I thought as I'm back, let's do a quick video on how we can actually create our own investment portfolios using Google Sheets. Now, recently, or maybe it's been a few months, but I have recently discovered that Google Sheets have actually created a function where you can use Google Finance to pull data for all the shares and all the stock prices. And I thought it would be really interesting to create a video on it, on how we can leverage that and actually create our own investment portfolios. I wanted to sidetrack this a little and just shift the focus from Python to Excel, because I know a lot of people like to work on Excel more or have worked with Excel in the past. And I'm not a computer science major. I did my bachelor's in finance, investment and risk, and then I did my master's in business analytics. That's where I gained all the technical knowledge, and that's why I like to code on Python and R. But apart from that, I thought it would be interesting to create a video using Google Sheets, and this is something that everybody can participate in, and it would be a great video for anyone who is already investing in the stock market, or who just wants to get started and make some investments in the stock market. This would be a great way to just track all your shares, all your funds that you guys have invested in, and this is going to be a great video, so stay tuned. So let's get started with today's video. If you guys want to follow along, you can follow along. If not, I will be putting a link where you can download this template and just play around with it. So if you guys are following along, just go into Google Sheets and open a clean and empty spreadsheet. Once you do that, let's create some investments. So right now it's just going to be very hypothetical investments. So let's say you invest in Apple, Peloton Interactive, which is they sell like exercise bikes. They've been getting a lot of popularity during the period of COVID. Let's also consider Under Armour, and let's take a fund. Let's take Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. Great. Now, once you have all your investments, so this is just a very basic example. That's why I'm just going to use 4 different shares and 1 fund. And let us put here the share price and buy. So let us populate this. So let's say we bought this at 95.96. Let's say you bought Peloton at 91.91. Guys, bear in mind that all these values are in British pounds, but if you guys are living elsewhere, just make sure that you guys put your own currency, the price it was when you guys bought the shares. For Under Armour, let's put 8.27, and for Scottish Mortgage, let's put 8.95. Let's also look at the number of shares bought. So let's say you bought 5 shares in Apple, 10 shares in Peloton, 20 shares in Under Armour, and 30 units of Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. Now also look at our total investment. Let's say this is the total money that we have invested in these stocks. Now, once we find out the total investment, let's look at the share prices today for all these stocks. So this is where the Google Finance function comes into picture. So for Apple, we're just going to use APL. For Peloton, it's going to be PTON. For Under Armour, it's going to be UAA, I think. Yep. And for Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust, I think it's going to be, the ticker is SMT, I think. Okay, so if So this is in pence, so let's convert this into pounds. Great. Now let us also make this into 2 decimal places. That's great. So understand that these all prices are in US dollar. So let us also create an FX chart to convert a USD into GBP. So let's say the FX rate at buy. So let's say that time it was 0.74, just hypothetically, because Scottish mortgage is a UK, so we're just going to put this as 1. We can also, because we'll be making a formula, we can just put USD and GBP. Cool. Now we can also look at the FX rate today, and in order to do this, just do Google Finance, do currency, and let's take USD and GBP. Let us also log these cells. Great. And that's going to give you today's exchange rate. And obviously we can convert this again into 2 decimal places, and we can drag this down, make this 1. Now we know the FX rate for today. Now let's convert the share prices to today's share prices. So let's convert this into GBP. So we can just put GBP share price. So we can just convert that into this. So that's the GBP price for it, and then we can convert this into 2 decimal places again. Just looks neater that way. Great. Now what we can do is we can also calculate the price increase or decrease. So this is today's share price, and this was the share price when we bought it. So we're down £6, and we can do the same thing for all the other investments that we guys have. And now we can also look at the profit or loss if sold today. So we can do this multiplied by the number of shares that we have. So if we were to sell this today, this is going to be our profit and loss for the day. Great. So this is going to be our profit and loss if we were to sell the positions that we have today. What we can do is we can actually create a summary table here, and let's merge this so it looks nice. So let's look at the total investment that we have made in our portfolio. So our total investment is going to be all of this. Let us also look at our net investment, our profit or loss, which is going to be the sum of all of this. Great. Now let's look at our net investment, which is basically this minus this. So that's our net investment right now. It's in British pounds. Let us also look at our return on portfolio, which is this divided by that, and let us make this into percentage. So as of today, if we were to sell all our positions, our return on portfolio would be minus 3.22%. With the amount of data you have here, you can generate a lot of insights. One of the insights, for example, you can share is you can work out the share that makes the maximum profit in your portfolio and the share that makes the biggest loss in your portfolio. So in order to do that, let's create another summary here. So let's call this summary 2, and in order to do that, let's look at the maximum profit, which is, we can just use the max function, and we can also calculate the maximum loss, which is again all of these. So that's going to be a maximum profit, that's going to be a maximum loss, but this doesn't tell us much. What we want to know is which share basically brings the maximum profit or the maximum loss in our portfolio. Now we do this because when we have more than 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 investments in our portfolio, and when you start to diversify your portfolio, it becomes very difficult to go line by line and to see which shares are making maximum profits or maximum loss. So this acts as a great way for you to identify which stocks or which shares or which funds are performing well in your portfolio, and which stocks and which shares are performing worse in your portfolio. So once you have an indication of which shares are performing worse in your portfolio, you can spend some more time identifying why they're performing low, and what is the reason behind it, whether it's a good time to buy more of those shares, or whether it's time to sell that share from your portfolio as it's contributing to the maximum loss. So in order to find out the share with max profit, we can use the lookup function, and let's look for this value over here, and let's return these. Based on this, once we use the lookup function, it shows us that the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust is making the maximum profit in our portfolio. So we can see that the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust makes around £35 in your portfolio. Now we can also do the same thing to calculate which share is making the maximum loss. Again, using the lookup function, let's look this value up over here, and let's return this. So with the lookup function, you can see that Peloton Interactive currently produces the maximum loss in our portfolio. So this can be another summary table that you would want to create, or another insight that you would want. So if you're someone who buys from the European market, from the US market, from the Indian stock exchange, then this insight could be something you could also use. So in order to create another insight, let's just label this as summary 3, and let's create here US market, and let's create European market. Now let us calculate the total profit or loss the US market has given us. So and that's the total profit or loss from the US stock market. And you can do the same thing for the European stock market. Once you have more European shares in your portfolio, you can do the same thing for that as well. So these are a few insights that you can generate. With this amount of data, there's so much more that you can do and make your portfolio even more robust. One more thing that I would like to mention here is that you can also use some visualization here. You can also take help of some charts to visualize and get a quick summary of how your portfolio has been performing. So one insight that you can draw from here is basically take all your investments and then all the profit and loss that it has made as of today. So we can just do that now. So we can do that, and let's insert a chart. There we go. So that's the first chart, where it can give you a little idea of how your total investments or how your portfolios have been performing. That's great. Now one more visualization chart you can use is between US market and the European market. So you can plot these as well in a chart. Great. So this chart basically tells you which markets have been performing better. So based on this chart, you can see that currently your European markets are currently performing better than the US markets. And then based on these or any other external factors, you can do some sort of decision making as to whether it's a good time to buy more US stocks as the market's currently not performing that well, or is it time to just sell the US, some part of my US shares. So over here, once you have used the Google Finance function and you've put your ticker, then you can just forget about it, because every day it's gonna give you the live price, and it's going to adjust your return on portfolio automatically. It's going to calculate the maximum profit and maximum loss. It's going to give you an overview of which markets are currently performing better based on the data they have, and your charts are going to be changing accordingly based on the current fluctuations in the stock market. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought this video would be a great way to get more people involved, because as a lot of people are familiar with using Excel sheets, so this would be a great way to just involve a lot of people who would like to build a small investment portfolio for themselves and then just keep a track on it as well. Also bear in mind that the Google Finance function just works on Google Sheets. It would not work on Microsoft Excel if you want to use that on your local PC. So I would recommend that if you guys want to work on your Microsoft Excel on your local PC, then I would create a separate video of how you can actually fetch data from the web using Microsoft Excel as well. So it's just easier for you guys to create the same portfolio using Excel. I hope this video was a value add to everyone that's watching, and I hope that you guys can definitely take this template up and play around with it, put in your own investments and the portfolios that you guys have created, and just play around, have fun with it. And I would really appreciate if you guys can give a little like, and I would also appreciate that if you guys could please subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel grow, and it would show me that you guys enjoy these kind of videos and these kind of content that I push out. And I would also request you guys to please leave your 2 cents and just leave a comment down below. Tell me what you liked about this video, what you disliked about the video, so I can make necessary improvements for my next videos. So yeah, thank you so much guys if you guys have stayed till the end, and I hope you guys have a great week ahead. I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Bye.